Happy Sunday. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I have been MIA for less than a month, but a few weeks. And that is because I moved to New York. I am so fucking excited about this chapter for myself, but that is something that I'd like to talk about a little bit more and just kind of like dive deep about like why I made that decision, and also just just a little life update, but it's not really to like update you on my personal life. That's not what this channel's about. I'm just sharing my experience in this instance because I want it to inspire you to do something that you feel deeply called to do. And I know I've been alluding to something in the last couple episodes. I feel like I think there was a couple times that I said, there are big things coming up. It's a little bit crazy, and that is and was true. It's true that there were big things happening. It's true that it's a little bit crazy, and it's true that it's all good things, and even good things can be difficult. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today, because I realized throughout this experience of me working towards this goal, which I have been for a year. Like, I literally moved like almost exactly a year. Like, the timing was like exactly a year since I had decided to move to New York. And then I moved like exactly a year after I decided that. So a year is a long time, but it's not that long. And to be frank, even though I had a year, like, I thought I was gonna have met so many more financial goals leading up to this, and it was not that way. And I still made that shit happen. So I'm gonna give myself a little pat on the back. But my point in actually mentioning that is to remind you that even though you may not have it all figured out, and even though it may not feel like the perfect time, that does not mean that you need to wait any longer. And I'm not encouraging impulsivity, but I do want you to understand that there is so much life, and at the same time there's not, because you genuinely don't know when you could be taken from this earth. And the point in saying that is that you can't just say, yes, I have so much life to live, and so I'll meet these goals and I'll get to do these things in the future, in a long time, when I have these things, when I have all these assets. Like, we plan so far ahead, and a lot of us don't even get to make it. And in the meantime, while we're trying to plan for the perfect time, we're actually delaying our own happiness, and we're delaying our ability to get to those goals sooner, because there's this undertone of self-doubt. And while I knew that I could have set myself up in a certain way, maybe taken more time to just stay where I was, to work towards getting to New York by saving more money and having more things lined up. But like, frankly, money is usually the reason why a lot of people don't do things for themselves. And I understand that money is really hard. It's a very sensitive topic, especially right now, because of fucking Trump's economy. Fuck that guy. Seriously. We'll get into that later. But anyways, my point is that we are all really aware of finances right now, and I feel that as a young 20-something-year-old, because that shit hits deep. But nonetheless, I have had to let go of a huge sense of fear that I've grown up with my whole fucking life. And in the last few years, I finally decided to go, fuck it. Like, what's the point of always being fearful of what could come next? Because I could be fearful ahead of time and nothing even come of it. Or I can be fearful in the moment as my response if it's something that warrants fear. But in the meantime, I'm not going to let myself stay conditioned into thinking that I can't make certain things happen for myself, or I don't deserve certain things in life because I have a certain level of self-doubt that believes that I'm not worthy of that. And I don't believe that anymore. And you shouldn't believe that about yourself anymore, because literally this world is so endless of opportunity. And again, it comes back to like, do you value yourself enough to do what you want to do in this life? Do you value yourself enough to love yourself? Do you value yourself enough to feed into your intuition? Like, live intuitively. What is inspiring to you? What do you feel called to do? Like, it's so simple. Like, I know you know what that calling is. I know you hear that in the back of your brain, that pesky little thing that's like telling you to please do this, please do that, please participate in this. And you feel fear. And like, I have gone through moments of fear throughout all of this, but fear is an invitation to learn more about yourself. Fear is not something that we need to cower from and feel like it's something that's blocking us from experiencing things. That's exactly what prevents you from finding your intuition and finding what you're most passionate about in life, and like also finding what you will and won't accept for yourself. And I decided I won't accept living in a state that really makes me feel like I can't thrive there and that there's not people there for me. And I lived there for a chunk of time. Let's just say I was fucking living in Idaho. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay? And right now, more than ever, as a queer woman, I couldn't fucking handle that shit. And literally since I was a kid, I'll be a little bit personal here. When I was a kid, I literally had a New York themed bedroom. At one point, I was like 10 years old and I had a fucking New York themed bedroom. And the notion of moving to New York is just something that a lot of people dream of, or a lot of people say, I want to live in a big city one day, and they just don't make it happen. They think they can't make that happen. And it's not easy. It's not easy. And I don't know what it's going to be like for me. I've been here for 9 days. So I'm not here to say, yeah, it's all sunshine and rainbows. I know that's not the case. But I'm facing it head on. Like, I'm choosing to face it head on, because I also know that while there's so many things I cannot predict here, and there's so many things that could be not pleasurable to experience while living here, I also know that there's so many things on the other side that are greatly beneficial to my character development, to building up myself and discovering myself in ways that I would not be able to anywhere else. I know that for a fact. And so that's the thing. If you deeply feel called to doing something, then you should. And I know that moving to a big city has its pros and cons as far as like what you're doing to the communities that live there, and do you belong there, and all that stuff. And that is something that I'm taking really seriously, because I don't want to be someone that's part of the problem. I see so many posts on social media just in regards to the kinds of people that are moving to New York especially. And I know that people come to follow their dreams here. I do. And I also know that a lot of people who probably aren't deserving come here and they ruin any sense of like community and culture and diversity that's in the neighborhoods and boroughs here. And I don't want to be part of that, because I'm on the side of people being uplifted and liberated, and I'm on the side of people finding their voice and mobilizing and demanding more. And so I'm going to try to be as mindful and ethical as possible, because I literally speak on these things. Like, I am so politically interested. And that's the thing, is like, being in Idaho was like dimming my light. Being in Idaho is not, it doesn't fit me. And it's deeply upsetting when you're in an environment that is like full of like angry white men that are like insanely concerned. Like, no, they are so Republican. It's not even conservative. Like, these people are rotten to the core, horrible, fucking racist, and they're fucking homophobic, and they're just, yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea, and I felt like I couldn't blossom there. I grew up in Oregon my whole life, and I know what it's like to be in a more open-minded environment, and so moving to Idaho was like really, really difficult for me. And I lived there for 6 years, and now I know that all the time that I spent there, I did so much growth because I had to do a lot of self-reflection. I had to become super self-aware to really understand and decipher like what I seek in life. And the conclusion ended up being something bigger, and I'm so excited for myself and what I'll gain from being in an environment like this, because I so desperately want to be connected to other people who want that same mind, like want that same lifestyle, and crave the mindset of understanding yourself and wanting to understand how the world is truly endless in opportunity. And I want to connect with people who want to find their passion. And I think that when you're surrounded by a lot of people who know that for themselves, you can stay motivated in discovering who you are. And the thing is that like, I don't do this because I'm trying to look for myself within other people. It's more of that when you're around creativity and you're around inspiration, you absorb more of the experiences you're actually partaking in. Does that make sense? Like, you become more present and you start like really observing people and watching how the world works, and you start appreciating things for what it is, and like and appreciating things fully, because sometimes, actually much of the time, we're just mindlessly, aimlessly going through life, and we're feeling like very leveled emotions with some highs and lows, but there's nothing profound that you're feeling. And I don't want to feel that. Like, I want to feel excited. I want to feel inspired to walk outside and take on the day and observe things that are just like constantly amazing to me. And when you don't have that in your life, whatever that looks like for you, it's hard to stay grateful, because you realize you've outgrown your environment, or maybe you didn't belong in that environment, and maybe you are just ready for something different. And that doesn't have to be like where you live. It could be where you work. It could be who you live with, who you're partnered with, who you're friends with. It trickles into every aspect of our life. And so when you start to feel like you're dulling, and that like you're not feeling like goodness regularly. Like, I remember being younger and I felt like I was laughing all the time. Like, I felt like I was around people that just like made me like genuinely joyful. But then like you get older and you get used to certain routines, and you have more responsibility, and you start like losing life. Like, that's what this system conditions people to do, is like lose themselves in life, and in a way that they detach from their spirit. And I learned very quickly that that wasn't going to work for me in my personal life. And so anytime I have like an inkling of like, you need to change, you need to do this thing to improve your life, you need to lean into doing this more often because it's going to actually make you happier. Like when I have those urges, when my intuition is telling me to do something, I listen to that because it's always taught me that I find myself even more every time I listen to myself. And even if it creates learning lessons that are hard to go through in the moment, that's exactly what they're there for, to learn. They're not here to just make you subject to pain that's insufferable and steal from your spirit. Like if you reframe it and you look at it through a different lens, everything happens for a reason. And I know that that's the most annoying sentiment to hear because people say it all the time, and I think a lot of people who don't really understand that say it, and so it loses its meaning. But genuinely, if you can just reflect on your own personal life and think about all the major things that have happened to you, major experiences, what has happened after those things? And like, if you don't know right away, think a little bit deeper. But if you are not someone who's in the victim complex, you will be more easily able to pinpoint what you gain from each thing that you've experienced in life. But if you operate out of a sense of thinking that the world only happens to you, then you're never going to feel abundant and you're never going to discover yourself, and you're always going to stay stuck in your little comfort bubble because you're going to fear when you might want to consider embracing it. And that's what I know. This whole video is like so all over the place, but I want to put it out anyways because I'm just speaking authentically here. Because if I share my experience on doing something that was fear-inducing, I literally left everything I know on the West Coast. I didn't come here to go to school. I didn't come here to... Yeah, that's why a lot of people come to fucking New York. They start with school. Like, I literally made the decision and did it, and as someone who doesn't have a lot of money to do it. Like, I had a year to plan, but my bank account did not reflect that. But I was dedicated to making it happen at a certain point. I was dedicated to pursuing myself. And that's why I'm telling you to pursue your passion. It's like, your passion should lie within yourself. And what does yourself want? Would you rather be bored and unfulfilled? Or would you rather at least try and find out what kind of abundance lies on the other side? Because I can guarantee you, everyone that plays it safe is miserable. And they encounter misery a lot more in their life. Because they're only doing things on the whim of others. They're not doing things for themselves. And if there's anything that you can do for yourself right now, it is to listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. Live intuitively. I'm not playing. I'm actually begging you to live intuitively. Because literally, so many people are so detached from their intuition and their primal instincts that y'all are not fucking feeling fear when we should be really fucking fearful of the bullshit that's going on, okay? And if we stop accepting bullshit in our personal lives, you know how much it's going to dethrone the people that are ruining our lives right now. I know I've said it, but I'm going to say it over and over and over again. I'm literally begging you to pursue yourself. Because it is so critical right now that humans start learning their value, because we have fucking robots controlling our fucking lives right now. And I'm not talking about AI even. I'm talking about the people that fucking let that shit go unregulated. I'm talking about the people fucking taking your money out of your pockets and making you pay double for fucking groceries. I'm talking about the people fucking telling you that it's normal that you don't have healthcare and that you're bankrupt for it. I'm talking about the people who fucking are letting a mass genocide fucking happen. Those aren't real people. They're not human. If you're a billionaire, you're not fucking human. You're not human if you're a billionaire. You're so out of touch with reality, you don't know what it's like to be a human in 2025. So I am begging you, as a person who just wants to grow herself, and as someone that is watching a video and has come across a video where hopefully you are someone who wants to grow yourself, to evolve in your spirit, to find who you are. Whatever you want to do in this life, do it. If you know that you are meant for something bigger, do it. Like, do not listen to the negativity and the fear-mongering and the self-doubt and the doubt that your family or your friends or society in general likes to put on you. That is not going to serve you anymore. Because guess what it's made you do? It's made everyone a fucking yes man. It's made everyone subject to abuse. And we've started to normalize not being happy. Do you understand that we're so used to not being happy that that's why the people that are in power can do what they're doing right now? Is because we've just said, you know what? Walk all over me. Walk all over me. If you don't feel that way, if you don't genuinely agree with the fucking shit that we are dealing with, then please start by looking at your personal life and recognize where you can pursue yourself, where you can reignite inspiration in your life, where you can find meaning in your life. If you need to make a big fucking change, make a big fucking change. Because a lot of big shit needs to happen. And it's only going to start by us knowing what we're worth in this life. And you can feel fear sitting in your house playing it safe. Or you can feel fear by going outside, looking at what the shit's going on. And you could say, abso-fucking-lutely not will I let this continue on. And I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. I want us to look at things and feel rage and say, I want better. I deserve more. Because this is political. It's all political. Pursuing yourself is political. And I just want you to know that as someone who is doing scary things every day, things that I've never done before. I'm moving in different ways I've never done. It's the most inefficient process ever. And I'm encountering new obstacles every single day. And even though it's hard, I also see the reward that comes with it. And I'm fully embracing this new experience. And I want you to see the fear that you are resisting experiencing in this life and reframe it to understand the goodness that's going to come out of actually feeding into that. So you are not going to thrive in life by doing meaningless activities. And you've been conditioned to believe that the meaningless activities that you're doing are helpful to others. But in this whole time, you've probably forgotten what's meaningful to you and what's helpful to you. Forget about what other people are expecting. Forget about the doubts of others and any little bits of doubt you have in yourself. It's not going to serve you. Release it and give yourself some belief. Because without self-belief, we won't believe in a greater humanity. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more honest from here on out about like my personal life. But let me tell you, any kind of doubt anyone tries to cast on me, unbothered, untouched, literally, there's nothing you could tell me because I find the value from within. So haters don't even fucking try. And I encourage you to have that mindset as well. So Happy Sunday. I'm glad to be back. I know I was gone, a little MIA, but I'm here. I'm in New York. I have my 2 cats supporting me. I'm learning the ropes, and once I get my room decorated, I'm going to have a cuter background again. But this is just what I have for now. I know I'm rambling. I know this is long. But I hope that this resonates with you, and I hope that you see what I see in you and what I see in humanity. So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and bye.